Hi everyone, my name is Viv and I have a new episode out on my podcast, Perspective with Viv. And the episode is titled M for Mentalism. Here it is. So, mentalism, what am I doing? I'm sharing strategies that come from people that can be labeled as losers and low lives, hence why I refer to them as L squared. And the thing with my podcast is that I'm very blunt and direct, so I really do mean it because as we evolve and we are getting to know more about the world, we realize that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And have we noticed that we're always finding ourselves hearing stories or seeing people or having the unfortunate favor of being around people that tend to bring you down or tend to display these things that I'm going to address here. And that's what I break down on that episode. It's really about arming you with psychological solutions, tactics, especially when you're being subjected to spiritual warfare. And I mean that shit. So check out my episode M for Mentalism. But let's get straight into the strategies. I'm going to give you some highlights so you can see what I'm talking about on the episode itself, okay? So the first one that I speak on is pushing against boundaries. How can you recognize somebody that is your opposition and somebody that also has ill intentions towards you? You find that they push against your boundaries. You see, when people do these things, don't act like they don't know what they're doing. Some people don't know what they're doing, which is why when you express your boundaries, you can see the extent to which they didn't know what they were doing was violating. All right, but you find that opposition, the L squared category, they push your boundaries to see what they can get away with, so that they can know how far they can walk all over you and take advantage and steal from you in whatever way, energy, time, money, etc. Okay, so people that can be considered as L squared are people that would engage in these sort of strategies to bring you down. So when they push against your boundaries, I said that when somebody pushes against your boundaries, you push back by implementing and enforcing those boundaries. So you give them consequences for their actions, and how they respond to your boundaries shows how they really feel about you, whether they are ill-intentioned, whether they see you as somebody that's going to fulfill a need for them. And when you deny them by setting boundaries, you cause them to crash out. I also liken these people to being grown babies who, when you correct them for doing something wrong and they throw a tantrum, them throwing a tantrum is in order for you to put your defenses down and try to hold space for their emotions. But don't do that. Watch them crash out and register that information that whoever is angry at your boundaries is somebody that wanted to take advantage of you and is upset that they cannot. And trust me when I say that all day I've been receiving downloads. One thing low lives don't have, if that's good English, they don't have limits. There is no low a low person would not go in order to defeat you or bring you down or distract you. Okay, so don't ever look at opposition as people that I should give grace. That's just me as my person. That's how I am, because it's very distracting and confusing to give grace to somebody that has made it clear that they are your opposition. All right, so you've watched shows, you've watched films where they go to war, like Game of Thrones. Anybody can get this, anybody can die. We don't have favor for somebody that is playing on the other side unless it benefits us. And if it doesn't benefit us, we go all out in fighting for ourselves and protecting ourselves. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is red flag does not equal green lights. This is a formula that I shared for people that have come from traumatic backgrounds in which they were around people that violated their boundaries and they couldn't fight back. They had to pretend to be safe. They had to please people to be safe. When they see red flags, they kind of are accustomed to gaslighting themselves so that they don't feel the impact of that violation. But the formula I want to share with you today is red flag does not equal a green light. A red flag equals red light. Red flag equals red light means when you see something that feels like this is a red flag, a red flag feels like ding 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 alarm bells, right? Once you hear that sound, think of it like when you are approaching a bridge in which a train track runs through. At that bridge, when a train is coming, you hear ding, 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 and then the barrier comes down. That's what a red flag is, okay? So whenever you feel like somebody has, shown you a red flag, don't use that as an opportunity to move forward. A lot of people see red flags, they negotiate themselves out of it, they give somebody another chance, they give them benefit of the doubt. I don't believe in all of those things because they cloud your judgment. Why give somebody benefit of the doubt if it involves giving them another chance to hurt you and violate you the way you just saw them do? Does that make sense? So red lights it means stepping back and pivoting and finding another direction. It means this is a no-go area. Go back and don't turn around. So that's how I see it, okay? Yes, so this is from M for Mentalism, my new episode of my podcast, and I would love for you to listen to it. So check it out on all podcast platforms. Thank you.